All right. Here's the thing. I don't know what's going on today, but as a compromise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be modding some Stardew Valley, which was something I usually do Monday, but I had to cancel Monday because I had some family stuff going on. So we can do it now. So is this going to recognize? Nope. Yeah, can you recognize? Recognize, please. There we go. Holy moly. All right. So, what in the world is up today? I have a couple ideas, right? Notably, like, I have these config readers, which I actually forgot that I made. But what I want to do is I want to make sure this is, yeah, this gets it as a thread. Now, I can't really do annotation scanning because, well, I guess maybe I could, but I don't know. I don't know how that would necessarily work. So, all right, this goes and populates this, and then I want to read from this into the actual things, which should hopefully be something that I can do. And the way we're going to do that is through, well, I need like a config reading thing because I need to like initialize this, initialize the other stuff. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. I want a new class here, I think. And again, a lot of this is just going to be a straight rip from DDD, which is kind of simple. Kind of appreciate it for that. So this is here. It's the same thing. We're going to namespace this, of course. The SDV dot. Hello? Do I know what I'm doing? I do. This should be under config. What? Can I? Nope. Move unnecessary usings. I would like to do that. I'd like to have a hotkey that could do that, but I'm not super familiar with this IDE. I'm not super familiar with C#. So I guess this is private read only. You don't have a queue, right? Yeah, you don't have a queue. It's just a list. What in the world are you complaining about? Yo, 24-month streak. That's 2 years. Thank you for the 2 years. I should. Is this under? All right. See, that's what I needed. Oh, see, and then I need this. Oh, no, here. I should leave all this shit here. This is what I get for doing this. It takes like a while to figure out, I guess. Because I have it all here, it's all fixed, so you're fine. Do we have a queue? Do we have a queue? We have an immutable queue. Ooh. I don't want that. I just want a queue. Alright, so I have that there. What do you mean? Oh shoot, dude. Did I not? There's some shit in here, isn't there? There is. So this is all required. Don't touch this. Actually, I am curious though. There were multiple options. Oh, I just specified the actual full namespace, or like the fully qualified name. That's the word I'm looking for. Or I do that. Gotcha. Okay. Don't touch it. And I guess I do want. Can I? Do I have a thing for singleton instance? It doesn't look like I do. Okay, that's fine. I guess no, because this should not be no. Or declaring the field as nullable. I guess I can declare the field as nullable. And then in the constructor, I guess I can do that. That seems acceptable. Reader. Oh wait, no, this needs to be an IDDD configurator. Right. And this should be capitalized because C# conventions dictate. That's from Harmony lib? No. NQ. Okay, it's the same thing. NQ, and then I need to add the reader. Just like that. Yeah, okay. Now, what I do know is from my registry implementation, I can do varargs. Oh, yeah, because I do params. I use this params keyword here. See, I'm learning. I guess it needs to be an array, right? And then I do readers. I do get enumerator dot. No, we can't do that. Is there really no like for each thing? Hold on. I think it's bullshit. It's literally just for each. Wow, okay. You know what? It might be whatever, but for each IDDD config reader R in readers, I want to this dot. I guess I don't do that. I just in Q R. Next up, I guess I could also do a public void in Q all for an I enumerable. What are you complaining about? Member in Q all does not access instance static. No, I'm gonna be doing it. I'm gonna be doing it. Dot. Do? But that's from Harmony lib. What is this? What is this? There's some way to execute code for every element in a collection. Yep, but what do you do? Oh, I do collection extensions do. I mean, do we really need to do that? Can't I just do a for each on this? If it's enumerable, I can do that, right? For each IDDD config reader R in readers. I can do that, right? Damn right I can. But see, the difference is that here, this is a array, and here this is an IEnumerable. And so I don't think I can like combine these unless, can I get an enumerable? Can I do readers dot get enumerator? Oh shit. I can do readers dot get enumerator. So that's what I want to do actually. And queue all for an IEnumerator. And then I do enumerator dot, yeah, right? Like, while enumerator, wait, no, that's not what I want. Can I do a do? Can we do a do while loop? We can do a do while loop. Enumerator dot move next. So this advances the enumerator into the next collection. It returns true if the enumerator was successfully advanced, false if the enumerator has passed the end of the collection. No, I don't want it as a do while. I do want it as a while, because if the enumerator is empty, no, nope, nope, nope. Enumerator dot move next. I'm assuming yeah, because I still have to do next, because I assume that current is not a thing right now. Right, because this is from, oh, this is a completely different thing. This is, yeah, that's not what I want. Collections, extensions. No, I need the Harmony lib one. For each. Yeah, so there's this, right? We get the enumerator, and then while move next, we do the action on this, right? So we have to do this because the current will be, no, the current won't exist. I assume the current, yeah, okay. I assume the current thing is, that won't do what I want. In queue, enumerator dot current. Because it gets the next one. Because see, what I'm thinking is that I don't like the way it's described as move next. It makes me feel like if I do that before accessing current, I'm gonna miss the first item. Right? Because for some reason this makes me feel like it starts on the first item. But much like other iterators, it doesn't. You call next first, and then that'll get you the first item. It just doesn't really feel like I don't like the way that is personally. So now both of these can now get broken down to in queue all for readers dot get enumerator. What do you mean? Not convert from system collections IEnumerator. What do you mean? In queue all readers dot get enumerator. Okay, so this doesn't hate it because this is an enumerator of this. This is, I guess this is a different enumerator. It's not a generic thing. Collection extensions. As enumerable dot get enumerator. Aha, I am genius. Because if we do it as an enumerable, it'll then basically will parameterize it, and then I can do this, and then it will. Yeah, I mean, I can even just do like this technically, and that just it telescopes down to this, which telescopes down to this, which does that. And now the implementation details for this are dependent on the implementation details for this, which is dependent on the implementation details for this. So it all kind of funnels down to the same idea, so that if I, for whatever reason, I need to make a change here, it'll affect both of these. And if I need to make a change to this, it'll affect this too. Code reuse. Yay! All right. So that was a bunch of stuff. Now I have a get instance. Yeah, this needs to be like this. What do you mean? All paths. Okay, yeah, we're getting to that. Not what is this? No. I think I can do this. Use compound assignment. What do you mean you want to use compound assignment? Oh shit, this is a thing you can do? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So I assume what this means is that if it's null, if the field is null, it will assign it this and then return it, but if the field is not null, it'll just return it directly. Let me see. It assigns the value of its right-hand operand to its left-hand operand only if the left-hand operand evaluates to null. Null coalescing assignment operator. That's cool as shit. So, now I can do public static void read config. Wow, that was a suggestion, which was kind of dope as shit. And now what it wants to do. Now there's no stream. Oh, there is a stream. But I don't think this is the stream that I'm thinking. So, we need to do. I don't think there's a stream thing here. Basically, I want to convert all of these as a thread, and then start each one, join it, and then for all the readers here. Yeah, there's some stuff. Can I map it? Can I just do get instance dot readers? I don't know what half this stuff is doing here. Oh shit, wait, maybe zip. Here's the sequences of tuples with elements from the two specified sequences. Oh shit, yeah, no, that's not what I want. Zip, just whoop, and I don't want to zip them. I want to do something else. Dictionary array take while. What is this take while here? This is also static. Returns elements from a sequence as long as the specified condition is true. Yeah, okay, so that's just that. This is basically just a filter, right? I'm just trying to remember what all this is. This this just returns. Oh, this checks to see if it has any elements. Applies an accumulator function over a sequence. What does this do? Okay, so this is a reduction. That's not entirely what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a reduction. I just want a map, dude. I just want to map it. Select many. This seems... Projects each element of a sequence to an IEnumerable and flattens the resulting sequences into one sequence. What? Wait, what if I do select? Okay, does this... Oh, okay, it takes its index. Yo, there are keywords here that I'm not familiar with. Let's just look it up. I want to map a list. Is the select method. Okay, no, I was completely on point here. Pass a lambda into that. Okay, so select is what I want. Select. And then I need the selector, which will take a function and then give me a result. So I want idd config reader dot. How do I function notation this? Don't I just pass it? Don't you have a get as thread thing? Get as thread. Look at that. See, you're happy. The type arguments for method select cannot be inferred from usage. Try specifying the type arguments explicitly. Type of source, type of results. The type of the source is idd configurator. The type of result is thread. Not contain a definition for select. And the best method overload. Dot as enumerable. Enumeral doesn't contain a definition for select. You're absolutely high as balls. This is... Oh wait, no, this returns... Fix. You know what? Actually, no, don't fix. I changed mind. Right, I have a queue here, and the queue does not have a select, but it is an IEnumerable, so it does extend it, but it doesn't do it, I guess, that way. As parallel, I don't feel like that. How does this work? Oh, I think it's because I have to do it in parallel. Argument 2 cannot convert from method group to, yeah, okay. Because it takes the it takes the index of the thing, which is annoying. So now that I've done this, oh, I can't even call an as list on it because the select doesn't as enumerable. See, now it works. Probably because the method was weird. Wait, can I just do select then? I can. Okay. Yeah, gotcha. That's what we're doing. You don't have an as list though, which is interesting. Oh wait, I think it's supposed to be to list. Yes. There we go. Can this be an I list? Should this be an I list? It probably should be an I list. Alright, so now oh, it's start. Assuming that this even runs correctly, which I think it should. I think it should work correctly. T.join. So that should work? Question? Get instance dot readers. Whoops, no. Dot readers. Take while. This is gonna be, yeah, it's a predicate, so this is gonna keep the ones that have it. So it's gonna be idd configurator dot I guess this doesn't throw those exceptions in a way that matters. So I don't think I need to worry about that. I start all the threads, and then I join them all together, and then that reads it all. Oh, I guess this should be in reader. That would, in fact, make sense. So now this configuration get instance dot enqueue all, and now I have to pass in config readers that will read all of this stuff. So for example, the damage distribution one, this is going to be a new damage distribution config reader. Right? And so then this is going to take a name, which is going to be item damage. The config list, which is going to be mod config. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Oops. Config. So I do current config dot damage dot item damage, and that's that, and then I do items. Right, and so that has enqueued this, and now I have to do the same thing for the other ones. Right, so this armor resistance one, I mean armor resistance config reader. I guess, yeah, it doesn't need anything because there's only one place where the armor resistances go. So yeah, that's completely valid. Whoa, what are you doing here? Wait, what are you doing? New damage distribution config reader. There we go. Did I not make a config reader for that? I guess I didn't. This is probably a map parsing config reader. Why do I feel like I have done this before? I guess I don't need that. I guess not. Okay, so this should be... is it map parsing or is this multi-entry? That's the question. Map parsing extends multi-entry. Multi-entry is the very basic one. Okay, yeah. That's not what I want. I would want the map parsing. Resistances, which I believe is the type that it is supposed to be. Are we sure about this? I'm not convinced that this is unnecessary. I mean, I guess maybe... This feels incorrect. Why is this here? And instead not in here? Shouldn't it be here because it's used here? Shouldn't need to be here because it's not used here. If it's not used here, then it shouldn't be here. And now I will implement the abstract class where I have to parse it. And so now this needs a name, a config list, and then it also needs a should time, which should be true. And then you have factory, which will take that and do that. So this map parsing config reader Okay, so if this isn't, wait, if this isn't used here, then what the hell? And then go to the distribution config reader. You know, where it's actually fucking used. Because that makes a lot more sense. This was set up really weirdly. Everything else seems to be fine. Okay, so this no longer needs this anymore. That's the whole point, because that's kind of nonsense. Must declare a body because it is not marked abstract, extern, or partial. Right, and then like you define a body. You define an empty body. What does the extern thing do? If I can learn shit, I'm be happy. Dude, fully type out the thing. Implemented externally. Okay, yeah, no, that's not gonna help me. Wait, can I also declare it as partial? But that means I imagine. Yeah, if I declare it as partial, I can declare this as abstract? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Yeah, brother. Okay, so I just need to I just need to say that it does this. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. There we go. Name can be simplified. I am in favor of that. Simplify member access for the document. Sure, fuck it. Oh yeah, because you can just now put it under thing. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so now this has a not implemented exception, which obviously we need to change out, and this needs to parse itself into a set of resistances. Now this string is something. It's something. So the distribution config reader takes this string and then parses it as a map straight up, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm basically going to be doing the exact same thing here. The only difference is I'm not doing this at the end. Right, and then there's a couple of other things too. So I'm gonna want to check if config regex config reading regex dot I gotta see what it wants to match. I think I know what it wants to match, but I need to. Oh, I see. I need to actually build it as a thing. Right, so I don't have this regex as a thing. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to be private internal. What are you doing? That's not what I want. I guess I could do private static read only. Resist regex is going to be config reading regex dot important to specify. Actually, this would not be a string. This would be a regex. Build list regex, and then we're going to do config reading regex dot allow negative entry tuple sub regex, and then I allow empty. Boom. And then I make another regex, and this is going to be the immunity regex, and that's going to be config reading regex dot build list regex, but I pass in the damage type subregex, and then I also allow this to be empty as well. So now we got both of those regexes, also known as regi, and then can I just do resist regex dot is match. Okay, so if it's not a match, I want to throw a gigantic hissy fit. Basically, a throw new format exception. Yeah, I guess now I don't need these because I've made some changes there. I don't know where I am right now. But it's not here. Oh, it's maybe here. Wow. I'm going to throw a new format exception. And then I also want to check, but there's no point parsing it if everything else is wrong. So we're going to do if immunity regex dot is match, well, specifically if it's not a match, for additional info here. I'm going to throw another new format exception. Now what I can do is I can make an well, actually, I guess I could just return straight up a new. And now, so this is going to say, hey, we need. Oh, wait, it needs to be new resistances because that's the implementation of it. And it needs the dictionary and it needs the immunities. So the dictionary is going to be config reading util. Config reading utilities dot parse map. Now parse map wants some shit. It wants the reader, which is this. It wants the string that we're parsing, which is that. It wants the k parser, which is going to be config reading utilities dot parse damage type, and it wants a v parser, which is going to be float dot parse, I believe. Does not. Oh wait, it should just be this, right? Yeah. Okay. I was Java pilled for a second there. Right, and then we will also need to give the set of immunities, and to do that, yeah, to do that, we're gonna have a little bit more of a thing. Okay, how does this read? It splits it. Actually, I don't think I need to do that. I don't think I need to provide an override here. Despite copying this does seem to work differently. It's slightly different, slightly less flexible somehow. I'm not too sure how I managed to accomplish that one, but I just wanted to be cool, okay? I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but, you know, here we are. I guess what I could do is check if additional info indexed at 0 equals if it's empty, then what I can do is I can just return new resistances. Well, here's what I can do. I can actually have the iDictionary damage type. I think it's supposed to be an IDDD damage type. Float. We can pass that over to there. That'll parse it as a dictionary, and then I can just put the dictionary here. I can use this, the overloaded constructor, to help me out here. That way I don't even need to worry about trying to parse it. I don't need to like go through a method call to parse it. I can just check to see if it's an empty list first and just handle that edge case a little bit more easily. Thank you for correcting that. I completely botched that. Now what I want to do is I want to pass in, I have a string containing that. I need to now parse this. And the way we're gonna parse this is through a whole separate thing. Which more or less does the exact same thing. So do you have var arguments for, yes, for a collection? Not exactly, but you know what we can do? I can do additional info indexed at 0. I should be able to substring it. And I want to substring it. Wait. I can use a, oh my gosh, I can be so cool. I can be so damn cool, dude. I want to go from 1 to -1. Oh wait, the range operator's like this, right? 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 Yeah, so this is it, right? So what I want to know is, I just need to see a quick example of the range. Excluding the, oh wait, this is those Python builds there. Actually, this is exactly what I want. This will remove the first and last elements of the string. Right? And then, because I have this, I can now split it on, I do the same thing I did over wherever. which is, I guess, under the map parsing configurator, where I split it, and then I had it split trim entries. So I want to split on this, and then I want to do trim entries, so that it'll get rid of all of that. This is now a string array, which I can now, as we know, do two as enumerable dot select, and I can now map each element of this enumerable to config reading utilities dot parse damage type, and then I can do two hash sets. Boom! Look at that! Look at that inlined beauty. Java ain't got nothing on this. I'll say that much. Well, I mean, I guess technically it does. I will be right back. As I thought. Anyway, I guess I could, because you could do like no, because strings can't be treated as like an array in Java. I would have to. Yeah, no, it ain't got anything. Well, I guess I would have to do arrays.stream on the split stuff, and then do like that. I guess technically, but this is great. And this parses it as a resistance, and we use our overloaded constructor, which is great. And now we got this, so that's good. So now I can go all the way over here, and I can do new resistances config reader. Right? Beautiful. And now, do I have projectile config readers? Right? It's a little bit different. And even in DDD has its own projectile config reader, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because it needs to have its own projectile config reader. Right, so the way this works is that it'll be converting an element. It'll be converting the key, and then this will be getting from the key by converting this key to a string to use it as a key into the config. So yeah, basically all I need to do is understand that. So then this, it has a converter, and it just uses that converter to do that. So reading this is the same as yeah, I mean it's the same as it's fine, right? Because I have this configuration, but this configuration will add via strings and stuff, right? So it's good. It's good. I understand. I guess I could do a distribution config reader here. Maybe. Because it's the same thing as this. It's just a string to I damage distribution. I just have a special little thing here. We'll see if I can pull this off. This should be new damage distribution config reader. Monster projectiles. The config list is going to be current config.damage.monster projectile damage, and then we're going to do monster projectiles, and no, that works. And then this is going to be new damage distribution config reader right here, and this is going to be slingshot projectiles. Monster projectile damage, I guess I want this to be. In slingshot projectile damage, I want this to be. Current config dot damage. So what I'm understanding here is that it should just be this. Slingshot damage, and then this is going to go into slingshot projectiles. Boom, look at that. So now I can simplify this call. So now this reads everything, but there should still be some string config readers. There's 3 references to this. You're not using this, so I don't need to care about that. In the predefined distribution. Because there's the explosion, and then there's the damage. There's 2 references to this. Those are the references. Okay. There's 3 references here. I think it's only... Yeah, like, it's only used here. So there should be a registry, I think, for the distributions, right? Yeah, there's a distribution registry, which has this. It has its own init. And then... Now, for the registries here, let me just quickly take a look at this. The distributions here, does it... Oh, wait, I think I know what the heck goes on. Wait, that doesn't make any sense either. I need to find... you know what, that's fine. What I can do is I can... I guess this can be internal. Yeah, that makes sense. I actually do like that. Implement remaining members. There we go. Is reader... Okay, IDDD config reader. There we go. And then I can do this, and I can implement remaining members. And I can return maybe dot empty. And then I guess I need to parameterize it still. So now, when I am over here in the distributions registry and I initialize it, I can do this dot as enumerable dot select. I predefined distribution dot get config reader instance. How did I literally just do this? It's interesting that it doesn't like this. So now I'm going to select that, and then after I've selected them and I've done that, actually I wanted to this dot, oh wait, I don't need to map it. Yeah, okay. I don't want to do that. I want enumerable dot. You know what? We're just gonna for each over it. Because after I've registered them all, they're now in the actual registry, so I can iterate over it real quickly, and then just do dis dot get configurator instance dot if present, specifying the action to be config loader dot get instance dot in queue, and then I can just in queue each any predefined distribution that has a configurator associated with it. I can in queue that. See, so I register, I create the registries here. I read the config, which I would need to do. And then I'm going to do ddd configurations dot init, and then ddd config loader dot get in not get instance, just read config. And so now the registries are created. I guess I don't need that. The registries are created as damage types and distributions. And then that's done. The configurations are done. They're loaded from the config. We have default values here. We have all of this here. This is our API implementation, which just specifies this stuff. Like, I don't need this. I mean, I'm not gonna have that, but, you know, whatever. So now I need... I want to know what else this has. This has a mod manifest, which is just the mod's manifest. Cool. Entry, get API. An API that other mods can access is also called after imod.entry and is only called once, even if multiple mods access it. You can implement imod.getAPI to provide an instance to all mods, or imod.getAPI mod info to provide a separate instance per mod. These are mutually exclusive, so you only implement one of them. I don't know if I am going to be doing that. I might, but... So the point is that now we have the stuff being read from the config correctly and all that stuff. Now, I guess what I want to do is create the default values for all the stuff. That way I now know if I need any additional config stuff, because what I'm thinking is I might want a separate config for like the dangerous variants of the monsters, because the dangerous variants of the monsters don't actually have anything that differentiates them outside of the fact that they are like marked as being dangerous. But like their internal IDs and all that stuff is the same, probably for tracking monster slayer goals. And so I'm thinking that I would want a separate thing for that. But I don't know. And so now this is where we get IL Spy coming out here. Because I need to look at the different monsters that are in the game. What the hell is happening here? Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. All right, so I have an idea of where this is all going to be done. What I need now is we know it's under Monster. I was told that there was a monster package here. I might also be blind. This is also an option. No, I'm decidedly not blind. Oh, but it's under not under NPC. Yeah, monsters. Yes, give me this. Okay, so there's these types here. This is kind of small, so bear with me. But I don't even know what I just did. All right, there's these types here. All right, and then down here, there's collision behavior, a bunch of other nonsense, which is very interesting. And then there's a mine monster. I'm not entirely sure what that's for. There's things like for example, this rock golem here. I presume is the base for the wilderness golem. Yeah. Here we go. Iridium golem, wilderness golem. And this base takes a name and a position. Right? So we're going to be looking at the Iridium Golem, we're going to be looking at the Wilderness Golem. And then there's Stone Golem. Not Rock Golem. I don't do it based off the class, I do it based off the name. Which is, like, really annoying, because, like, what are you called in the code? I now need to go check a bunch of stuff, and it's, like, a whole thing. But, as you can see, we have different entries for these ones. Another thing that I am curious about is the bat, because I want to know which bats we have. Right? They're all technically bats. Right? But there's like, are they a cursed doll? Are they a haunted skull? Are they a magma sprite? Because these are all separate bats. So this takes the base stuff from the lava bat, and then we have a haunted skull. That's what the name is set to, so this is cool. It has its own name. This name is set to Magma Sprite. This name is set to Magma Sparker. And then we have Iridium Bat. And then this is a Cursed Doll. And then otherwise there's Frostbat, Lava Bat, Iridium Bat. I don't know which one is which here for these iridium bats. There's so many things that are just called iridium beds, which is annoying. Right, these are the regular iridium bats. And then that was a whole. Okay, so that's gonna be a thing. This is the ghost. Which is a whole different thing. Okay, this is the whole thing for slimes, which I might, like, maybe I want resistances to depend on colors, right? I guess that's technically a thing. What I do want to know here is, do you have something that mentions your I want to know if there's something that mentions whether you are a dangerous monster or not. Really isn't, but there is. Initialize for location, which does a whole separate thing. Data monsters. You know what? That's probably what I want to check. Hello, hello. How's it going? Do I actually have a data thing here, though? There is a resources, metadata, data directories. I don't even know what that is. I'm not gonna look at that. References. That's a whole separate thing. Yep, don't worry about that. There is a data loader here. Not too bad. I was with fam for weekend, just back home yesterday. I'm planning stuff for a date tomorrow. Whoa, that's awesome. Okay, monsters. Monsters. I've machines. Locations. Oh, here it is, monsters. So the content, and then this is under data monsters. I would like to know where that itself is. Content manifest. Internal. Because I probably want to figure out where that's going here. Right? Because this is just a bunch of stuff. Whoa, that's a bunch of shit. Right, so I gotta find where that data is, but it's not in the decompiled part of the game, probably. So what I'm working on right now is that I have, this is the Stardew Valley DDD, and what I have right now is I have it being able to load the config, or at least I've set it up. Whether or not it works, we're here to test. But what I want to do is I want to define the default values for the monster resistances, the slingshot stuff, all that stuff. And so what I need to do is I need to look at a list of like all the monsters internally so that I can actually like know what they're called and stuff. And so I'm trying to find where that is. I think it's in an XMB. Yeah. Monster data is stored in content / data / monsters.xnb. Uh-huh. And what it has is number of health points it has, its damage, whether it's a flyer, objects, whether it's a mine monster, experience name, and display name. And the display name might be it is false only for non-monsters that use the monster data file, such as fireball projectile launched by a squid kid, which is like really, really weird. Here's what the intangibles are. They match their name. They sort of Monster IDs. Each monster type has a unique ID stored in a name field which can be used to spawn it, e.g. via console commands, and is used to track kills for the Adventurers Guild monster eradication goals, which is exactly what I suspected. Okay, here's what we have here. Note that many other monster variants of the above, and many other monsters are variants of the above and have the same ID, but they have different names, and that's the important thing, right? So we have bats, big slimes, blue squids, bugs, cave flies, Duggies, dust sprites, dwarvish sentry, ghost, grub, lava crab, lava lurk, metalhead, mummy, pepper rex, rock crab, serpent, shadow brute, shadow shaman, shadow sniper, slime spider, spiker, which is not a monster, but like it's weird. Squid kid, stone golem, and wilderness golem, which there's a lot more. Okay, I actually see the whole. I didn't even. It just. The wiki just shows me the data. It's kind of sick. Right, and so this data is interesting, but okay, we have. Whoa, wait a second. Okay, here are everything. We have green slime, dust spirit, bat, frost bat, lava bat, iridium bat, stone golem, wilderness golem, grub fly, frost jelly sludge, shadow guy, ghost, carbon ghost, Dougie, rock crab, lava crab, iridium crab, fireball, squid kid, skeleton warrior, crow, frog, cat. Not sure what. Actually, I do know what those are. Well, some of them. Crow frog, cat, shadow brute, shadow shaman, skeleton, skeleton mage, metalhead, spiker, bug, mummy, big slime, serpent, pepper rex, tiger slime, lava lurk, hothead, magma sprite, magma dougie, magma sparker, false magma cap, dwarvish sentry, putrid ghost, shadow sniper, spider, royal serpent, blue squid. Who? Here's the thing. Wait, but where's the big slime? Oh wait, the big slime is a thing. Is this really all the monsters that are in the game? I mean, you got the spider, you got. I guess this technically covers everything. I don't know what the fucking crow, frog, and cat are. But for reference, the crow and frog have 1 hit point. The cat has 300. I have no idea why. They do 0 damage. They don't fly. I've never seen this stuff before. Can I get a list of the actual monsters? So I have a list of the monster data. I now want a list of all the monsters in the game, technically, and then I want to like cross-reference these two sets of data so that I can create these the default values correctly. Monsters. Monster list. All right. Here we go. See, some things. Oh, but see, this data is as of 1.5.1. There is the Iridium Golem. Where the fuck is this even found? Oh, fuck, dude. I have to go find this shit? Oh my lord. I mean, I guess this makes sense. Okay. So, I'm going on an adventure. Please excuse me while I go on this adventure. I need to go to Steam apps because I need to find where the game is. I assume I'm looking for Steam apps here. And I'm trying to find out where that is. That's probably under the x86 one. Steam. There we go. See, now we're fucking getting somewhere. Steam apps, common, probably. Stardew Valley. Content. Hold on. Nearly there. Characters, monsters. Why is there 5 million different XMB files? Oh my god, what the hell? I thought that was all listed as one. Monsters.xmb. Oh, but this is the individual data for it. Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. It should be under content. Oh, wait. Content data. Monsters.xmb. Wow, it's almost like if I look for it, I'll find it. Okay, where the monsters? Monsters.xmb. Now, if I edit this file, if I open it with Notepad++, I imagine it's probably encoded in some form of plain text so that I can just read it directly, I hope. Fingers crossed. I've got news for you. It is not fucking encoded that way. Shit. I need to unpack it. There are two main XNB unpackers. Dude, I have to get a whole fucking thing for this? Open source cross-platform tool for unpacking XMB files. It can't pack files back into .xmb, but you rarely need to. Okay. Unzip the download into the game folder. Double click and run it to unpack your game's entire content folder. I don't want to unpack the entire oh, fuck it, fine. Alright, I'm gonna get Stardew XMB hack. I need to look at this. That's how it's encoded? Yeah, it's encoded in like some... It's encoded in some sort of table, right? Yeah. From the releases page. Yeah. From the releases page. Get this. Get the thing. Get the thing. Okay, get the windows. It's a zip. We're gonna put it here for now. We're gonna... I need to drop it in the Stardew Valley folder. Yes, I do. Alright, so now I'm going to open up another thing here. So it's on my desktop. So that I can go here. So that I can look at this XMB hack thing. So that you can back off. Throw this shit in here. And now we run Stardew xmbhack.exe. Little inconvenient, yeah. Well, I mean, technically not. I didn't realize I was going to need to do this. Because technically I don't need to do this. Technically I don't need to do any of this, but if I want to create sensible default values so that this mod can almost be like a drag and drop in and then it just kind of works so you don't have to configure every single monster yourself, it would be helpful if I knew what the monster names were so that I didn't have to fucking flub about in some kind of like cheats mode on a farm to try and like figure out what all the monster names are. Which that sounds like that's a lot more work than doing this. And I guess this is also useful as well because it also gives me a list of all the items, specifically all like the tools, like the shit that can do damage, which I might need as well because I need that for the weapons. And I've kind of put this off because I didn't really want to do this. Like, I didn't really want to have to, like, search and find everything, right? But, like, look, we got internal static read-only string array. This is going to be monster resistances. And this is going to be an array. Wait, what the? Okay, this is the array initializer. And then I just specify using the whole thing. So it's going to be something like green slime, probably. And then this is going to be the resistances, and this is going to be their immunities, of which I might not give the slimes immunity because they are early game, but I might give like a dangerous variant immunity to like bludgeoning, right? But they're all still slimes at the end of the day. That's the thing. Right, so I do kind of want to look at this, and then I might need a flag for like dangerous variants, and I don't know if I want the dangerous variants to be stored in like the same thing, or if I want like a separate thing for it. But then it's also like, how do you know if a monster is a dangerous variant? There's like no field on the monster itself that seems to indicate whether it's a dangerous variant or not. Which is kind of jank. Well, I guess it's not really jank, because I guess you technically don't need it, because you load the data from, like, other stuff. I don't know. The slimes are an interesting thing, right? So we'd have this, and then we would also have, for example, the bat. And then it would have its own things, right? No, not clone, you donut. But then we would also need the frost bat, which should have its own things. And then the lava bat, which should have its own things. And then the iridium bat, which should have its own things. And then we would have like the haunted skull. Right? And then we're just gonna be here forever and ever and ever until the end of time itself. Just indexing all the monsters in the game and trying to make sure that we can associate each thing with everything. So this has now been unpacked into a folder called Content Unpacked, and it is unpacked as JSON, which is kind of neat. And so now if I open up monsters.json, we get everything that the wiki listed, plus the new Iridium Golem, which was introduced in 1.6. What's a fucking frost jelly? There's a tiger slime. What the hell is a frost jelly? Is that just an internal name for the blue slimes? You're fucking for real. Frost jelly is a type of slime. Cool. Red slime is called sludge. Purple slime is called sludge. Oh. Oh, your whole thing. And then I guess it's because they have slightly different behavior. I don't know about the copper slime and the iron slime, though. And there's a tiger slime, which is its own thing. And drop special items for all this stuff. Yeah, and then, okay. And there's the big slimes, which are all the same. And there's prismatic slimes. But the prismatic slimes... Yeah, okay, so there's a whole there's a whole fucking thing. Alright, so there is green slime, then there's frost jelly, and then there's sludge. And those are like different slime names. But notably, the question is, where are all these names going to be useful? And I believe it will be under, like, where I'm going to actually get it from here is going to be under, what is this that I'm even looking at right here? This is, oh, don't need, nope, don't do that. It will be under the monster here. This monster does have a name field. Right? And so that name, we have a name here, right here. This name, for example, if we look at the green slime, and then we take a look at this. So see, this gives it the name green slime. And then if we make it a tiger slime, it actually changes its name to tiger slime. And if I make it prismatic, it changes the name to prismatic slime. So there actually is a separate thing for the prismatic slime, which is probably good to know. And then this green slime is empty. This green slime is here. This one, it's going to parse it as green slime. And then it's going to check. See, it's going to change the name. This is a little small, I understand that. It's going to change the name to Frost Jelly for the blue slimes, and then it's going to change the name to Sludge for the red slimes, and then it's going to do the same for the purple slimes, but it's going to change the color, and then it's going to add some more color variation to that, but it's going to basically make it purple, right? And then otherwise, this is going to be a sludge as well. And then I believe this is the quarry. Let me double check that, because that's probably good to know. Quarry mine. Give me the wiki for this. The quarry mine internally is floor 77,377. This is notably not that. Okay, cool. If the mine level is greater than or equal to 77,377 and the mine level is less than 77,387. Oh, 377, 387. If it's greater than that, it's greater than or equal to the quarry mine floor, and it's less than 77,387. The quarry mine has the context of desert due to being level 77, so you respawn default location. Okay, so the quarry mine, okay, I think the slimes in the quarry mine are also listed under sludge. Maybe, I don't fucking know, but the yellow slime just has more HP and damage than the original one, so I don't need to worry about that. The black slime, I assume, uses the green slime stuff. Maybe. I don't know. So, here's what we're going to do. I will start with these slimes, and I guess we can always test it and see like which ones each slime kind of are like in game after we kind of get this all working and shit. So the green slime. Now the next field we need is the resistances. The resistances are going to be a comma separated list of tuples, like this, for example. So now, for example, I can give them a 50% resistance to bludgeoning. And then slashing, I can give them like this for slashing, and then piercing can be normal. Right, so they'll take 50% less damage from bludgeoning-based attacks, and they'll take 50% more damage from slashing-based attacks. And then piercing-based attacks, I guess they could be maybe normal. I don't see... Piercing feels like a mix of beating something and slashing something. I mean, you're stabbing something. Whatever. And then I think I want to make them immune to acid because slime. Immune to poison because slime. Right. I need to have this. I need to have a list of... Oh no. Can you split view? Oh, you can only split view that way. No, you can split view this way. You're just a menace. Gotcha. All right, split view. Begin. All right. So acid, cold, they're not going to have anything for. Fire, they're not going to have anything for. Force, they're not going to have anything for. Neither lightning, neither necrotic. Poison, they will have an immunity to. Psychic, they'll be fine. Radiant, they'll be fine. I guess Thunder, I could also give them a weakness to Thunder. All right, and we try and keep it nice and simple as possible, right? And so boom, that's the green slime. So now we're going to do the frost jelly while we're doing all this. We're gonna just do them all at the same time, right? And these are gonna inherit the same sort of base resistances. But now what I can do is I can give them DD acid, DD poison. I can also give them DD cold, because they should probably have a cold resistance. Wow. Oops. I don't want to keep the formatting consistent here. Right, and now we have this. And now I need the prismatic slime. I guess I should give you some sort of elemental resistances. Maybe cold, fire, lightning. Cold, fire, lightning. Yeah, and then you just have this. I guess you can probably have the same stuff as the regular slime for now. I mean, I can always change it, right? And then there's all the bats. But the thing is, the iridium bat is also used to represent the cursed doll and some other stuff. So now what I want to check is I want to check the bats. Right? There's a thing that checks to see if it's a cursed doll, obviously. This one? Yeah, so this will turn it into a haunted skull. This will turn it into a magma sprite. This will turn it into a magma sparker. And then we'll have an iridium bat. And this is actually the cursed doll iridium bat. And then this is also a cursed doll iridium bat, but it's like different. And then we have frost bat, lava bat, regular iridium bat. I think this is the red iridium bat. So now what I want to know shake timer? What the fuck is shake timer? Oh, that makes it red. Nah, I got nothing. I guess because the regular Iridium bat is not done, and then if the mine level's like this, so if I go in here, and the mine level is greater than that, then it will set this shake timer. So this is the red Iridium bat, and the red Iridium bat is drawn here. Not here. It's drawn here, where it draws it red, I think. And then if it's set as a cursed doll, it subtracts from that. If the shake timer is less than 0, it sets it to 50. Oh, and then for the magma sprite, I guess that determines whether it lunges at you? This is really interesting. And then if it's a haunted skull, whoops, no, don't do that. Go back. It's a haunted skull. It draws something. I see. So there is no red Iridium bat in the game. It just like colors it red, which is kind of what I thought. But this means that there isn't really an easy way to differentiate it. But notably, it does change the thing to a haunted skull. It does change the name to a haunted skull when it creates it. Right? It sets the name to haunted skull. For the quarry mine floor. So we can do this haunted skull. We can do the iridium bat, lava bat, frost bat, and regular bat. So regular bat. Tell me about regular bat. If I punch regular bat, does regular bat get hurt and stop flying? I think so, right? See, now we have to get now to talk logic. What logically makes sense for a bat to be good against, and then like not good against, right? For example, I'm pretty sure this bat. Actually, I think I wanted to give the sludge. I wanted to change this. I wanted to give the sludge and the prismatic slime and the tiger slime bludgeoning immunity and like slightly less slashing resistant or slashing weakness. So a bat. You punch bat, it get hurt because bat bones are hollow. This is my logic. Is it good logic? I don't fucking know, dude. They'll take 25% more damage from bludgeoning attacks. I think they'll be maybe normal to like everything else. Oh wait, they're a flying type Pokemon. They should take more damage from lightning. This is, in fact, completely arbitrary. In case you hadn't noticed. And if you hit a bat with a bat, I don't think it's going to appreciate it. So bludgeoning damage checks out, right? See, this is what I'm saying, right? And no immunities. Wait. A poison immunity makes sense. It's a bat. Actually, does that make sense? Maybe not. I'm gonna leave it. Now, oh, we got buff against AIDS. So now the question is, what shit in this game is gonna actually do poison damage to a bat? I don't know. I haven't looked at all the fucking weapons yet. The insect head. The insect head is gonna do poison damage. Actually, I've already. So poison damage is gonna be a thing. But the fact that these slimes don't take poison damage means that it inherently slightly nerfs the insect head, right? And so see that now you're gonna get a little bit of thing. And what you can also do, I'm so smart. Not really. What I'm thinking I wanna allow, maybe, I don't know. Because what you can do is you can say put your galaxy sword in the forge at the volcano, and then you can put another weapon, and then you can like forge them together. And what that does is that it keeps the stats of the galaxy sword, but it retains the look of the other weapon. And I wondered if I wanted to transfer the distribution to be whatever the weapon looked like as opposed to whatever the weapon is, but I don't know if I want to do that. I think I just want it to be what the weapon is, because then that actually means that there is a reason to use the other weapons depending on where you're going and what you're doing, as opposed to just slapping whatever distribution you want onto your galaxy sword in endgame and then just kind of being like, eh. At that point, I haven't really changed anything to really be that interesting. Actually, okay, no shitpost. It does make sense for progression. Its slimes don't take it, so it makes weapons more specialized. Bats also have resistance to blood-borne illnesses, I think, purely because vampire bats' ability to consume blood in the impurities inside. Oh, yeah, maybe they should have. You know what? They shouldn't have a poison immunity, but I will give them a poison resistance. And I just want to quickly check here. When I do a get name on this, you're gonna your internal name. Is your internal name gonna be oh first damage type registries like yeah, this name is not. See, here's the thing. This DDD shit not needed. That's just gonna be a Minecraft version thing, not for here though. Can I control F DDD underscore here, and then no, not find in selection, and then replace it with nothing. Okay. And we will hope that it can read this correctly. Otherwise, I need to do shit they don't want to do. But see, notably, I'm gonna quickly take a look at DDD's things for this. It should be under the API. This damage type. See, it has this string prefix. Yeah, right. Like I think we're fine there. I think we're fine. So I'm gonna give him a poison resistance, a 0.25. I wanna keep the config relatively simple, right? So I'm pretty much only gonna allow 10%, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. That's it. And I'm probably going to omit, so DDD for Minecraft, what it has slimes have a immunity to bludgeoning, but they also have 100% resistance to bludgeoning. So if you hit them with a weapon that bypasses immunity and it still has bludgeoning damage, they still don't take damage. Like that was the whole reason here. I'm going to avoid doing that here, even though it is technically possible with this system still. Again, I want to keep this a little bit simpler because I think Stardew's a little bit more of a simpler game when it comes to stuff like this, so I don't think it makes sense to really go overboard. But we'll see. So for the Frostbat, we're basically going to inherit the same resistances, right? We're going to inherit the same resistances. We're going to inherit the same resistances for the Frostbat, we're going to inherit the same resistances for the Lava Bat, and for the Iridium Bat. However, the Frostbat is going to be immune to cold damage, the Lava Bat is going to be immune to fire damage, and the Iridium Bat's going to be immune to force damage. I think that makes sense. And we'll give it a psychic resistance, too. Just a 10% psychic resistance. Just because they're funky like that. And we're actually going to lower this to 0.1. And I think I should give them full immunity to poison. So now, this is the thing. I need to keep in mind that the Cursed Doll is going to be an Iridium Bat, I think. Right? This is the conclusion we landed on. The Cursed Doll is going to be an Iridium Bat. Right? Because only if we're on this floor. Otherwise, if we're here, I think these are the Cursed Dolls. And so it's still going to be an Iridium Bat. Actually, it's just going to be... It's just a bat. It's not an Iridium Bat. It's just a bat. It just loads the information of the Iridium Bat. But it's still just a bat. Which means oh no, this changes things. The Cursed Dolls are going to be the regular bat. And so now I need to kind of consolidate the resistances of the Cursed Doll and the bat. Unless I have like a special thing for the Cursed Doll, which I might. But for now, what I'm going to do is... We're going to make the bat weak to radiant damage. And resistant to necrotic damage. We're going to put poison here. They're going to have full immunity to poison, actually. we're going to put radiant, and that's going to be a minus 0.75. You're going to take extra damage from radiant, and then we're going to do necrotic, and they're going to have 0.75 resistance to necrotic. Which these other bats won't inherit. This is mainly for the cursed doll. Unless I want to have a separate thing for the cursed doll, which I mean, I guess I could do, but like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Because a cursed doll would be name bat and cursed doll.value true. Let's act under the assumption that we're gonna have separate resistances. Actually, we're gonna leave that as is, and we're gonna have a separate. So, what does our cursed doll have? And then I'll see what I want to do with it and stuff. I'm gonna put slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning here, and poison, and what else does the doll not take? The doll probably doesn't take psychic damage because it's a doll. What else does the doll probably not take? That might be necrotic probably. Yeah. And then we're gonna basically give them a set of weaknesses. Oh wait, I didn't put spaces here. So they're gonna be weak to radiant. I'm gonna take double damage from radiant. They're going to take extra damage from. Well, I guess radiant's gonna be the only thing that they'll be weak to, but they'll be like substantially weak to it. And then they'll have. No, it might just be radiant. They might just only take extra damage from radiant, but they'll be immune to a bunch of other types. Now the Haunted Skull should be immune to necrotic. I mean, everything's already dead there, so necrotic, poison, that makes sense. They'll have a minor resistance to bludgeoning. They'll take extra damage from radiant, because they be undead. Seems reasonable to me. Now, the other thing that I need to look at, there's ghosts, which has variants. There's also, the fuck is this? Oh, the regular bug, where it could be armored. But I think regardless of whatever these bugs are, they should have probably the same resistances. But they're the same no matter what. They're bugs, a bug's a bug's a bug, right? Like, that's fine. What about the fly though? Is there set hard? You have a separate thing for tracking if you're hard or not? What the fuck? Right, because there are different bugs. So this is where we draw the fly. I don't know how it draws the mutant fly. I mean, I'm assuming that the mutant fly is like the same thing. The mutant fly is not here though, right? Yeah, it's not. Because the mutant fly loads the regular information of the actual fly. Okay, so then we'll just have the fly be a fly. But before we get into that, I think what I want to do is because I want to do this monster stuff in order so I don't miss anything. So the next thing should be the dust spirit, which is the dust sprite. Now, I don't really have context for what this thing is, other than it's some form of elemental. Okay, so now what I want to know is I want to know the dangerous dust sprite. Let's take a look at them. What, you have this? Is hard mode monster. Oh, shit. But then what about the bats that set if they're a hard mode monster? Because the bat sure doesn't. Alright. We're just gonna deal with it, and then we're gonna do that later. So the Dust Spirit. Or Dust Sprite. And there's a dangerous variant. I mean, I guess I should give them poison immunity. I mean, I don't know what this thing is. It's a like elemental, I guess. I guess they can just be immune to poison damage, but otherwise just take everything normally, because I don't know what else to give them. Good, the bat's done, and now we have the stone golem. So, this fella's gonna be a little interesting, because I'm gonna give them a piercing weakness. And a slashing resistance. And they're gonna have a bludgeoning immunity. I don't need to do it like that. And there's wilderness golem. And I guess what I can do for the wilderness golem is I can give them a fire weakness. I guess I can also give them an acid weakness. You know, poison weakness as well. Actually, wait. Do I give them a poison weakness? Maybe not. I just give them the weakness. And then for the Iridium Golem, I think I'll leave their resistances untouched, but I'll give them slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, force. And I guess psychic, which I guess you should also probably have 2. And then I get to do all of this again for further damage too. Then we have a fly, which is going to basically have somewhat similar things, where it's going to be minus 0.5. Piercing is going to be 0.5. And the poison is going to go here as a resistance. I feel like that makes sense. I'm okay with them being neutral to lightning. That seems fine. Now we have the Shadow Guy. I need to check the stone golem. I guess the hard variant of the stone golem's the same. It's still a stone golem. There are 52, I guess 51 entries in this monster.json file. And how many monsters are there actually? A lot. There's a lot. All right, let's see what else we got here. I got so this is now the Shadow Guy. See, and the thing is, there's different variants of this. I don't know, right? Because there's a Shadow Brute. But I don't know where the shadow guy comes in. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this shadow thing is. I don't know what this cat, frog, and crow are. I mean, I think I know, like, what they are, but... Alright, we're gonna we're gonna skip over the shadow guy, because I don't think that's a thing. It might be unused. We're gonna leave that. So now we have Ghost. And this should obviously resist the physical damages. And then probably poison as well. Kind of hard to poison a ghost. And so now this is different from this, because this is actually... This is a ghost too. So this is a ghost. And then this is a ghost. And there's Putrid Ghost. Then what's this Carbon Ghost? You assume it's for the Skull Cavern variant of the Ghost, but I've got news for you, I don't fucking know. I guess I could give you a Force weakness as well. And I'm gonna be honest, you guys are gonna have the same things. Including the Putrid Ghost. But I'll also add acid on it too, why not? And there's the Dougie. And I don't know what to give these guys other than probably a bludgeoning weakness. Like, what are they? They're freaking moles, dude. We'll leave that. Maybe I change shit later. Completely possible. And now we have the crabs. The crabs. Which is here. And then this sets its name to like truffle crab, iridium crab, or false magma cap. What about lava crab? And there's also making it a stick bug. Oh, wait, no, it's still a thing. So you're probably going to have a piercing weakness. You're going to have a bludgeoning resistance. And then I'm going to give you a poison weakness as well. You're going to have no immunities because you're very early game. And then we have the Ruffle Crab. We'll give him like double damage from psychic, because I don't know, you're like a weird thing that exists. And then we have the Iridium Crab. And then you'll have a bludgeoning immunity. And then the false magma cap. Oh wait, no, you're not taking poison. You're not taking anything. Now we have the Squid Kid, which is its own thing over here. When are you making the all red Iridium Bats mod? I feel like that's probably already a thing. I feel like that's probably already a thing. I'm gonna see. I guarantee you it's a thing. Okay, I stand corrected. I can't see it. It would be a super easy mod too. All I do is I go into this section here. I go in here, right? I use a harmony patch. To change this from mine level greater than 99 to mine level greater than or equal to 171, which is what makes the iridium bats spawn. I mean, I don't know about the farm monsters. That might be different, but this would make every iridium bat a red iridium bat. I guess I could just check if the name is iridium bat. And if the name is iridium bat and it's not a cursed doll, so that this doesn't happen, then boom, red iridium bat. Slip it into like a cozy mod pack. Everything's a red iridium bat. I almost want to do that. That'd be kind of funny. And it's not like it's without purpose, because it's actually some decent practice for harmony patching. So like I'm learning when I do it. So it's actually like very reasonable. So put a pin in that. I might actually do that. We'll just call it oops, all red iridium bats. New speedrun category will be made. Speedrun Sturdy Valley with red iridium bats. And then we'll have a variant. There'll be a config option. There's one config, so like the default behavior is turn iridium bats into red iridium bats. And then there's a second config option for a super hardcore mode, which turns all bats into red iridium bats. So you could be like level 2 combat on the farm, just red iridium bat just fucking hones in on your position. No, like I'm now doing that. It's dumb, but it's funny. Is anyone gonna want to download it or play it? Probably not. But there's gonna be some people that'll be like, ah, fuck it, let's see what we got. There'll be enough people, yeah, for sure. I don't know what to give the Squid Kid. Squid Kid probably immune to mental attacks. Alright, hear me out. Alright, I'm hearing you out. I'm listening. What do we got? What do we got? I think I'll do that for the Squid Kid. I think everything else is probably fine. I mean, fundamentally, what is a Squid Kid? I don't know, dude. Make them immune to psychic damage. Make them take less force damage. I don't know. It fucking seems reasonable to me. Start a co-op modded starting game. Install the mod for red bats after first session and wait for how long until people notice? Ooh. Now that's a thing. No, see, so here's the thing. That won't work as well as you think it will. And the reason is the mod lists have to be the same, or at least mostly the same, for someone to be able to join your co-op session. So they would have to have the mod installed And yeah, I could mod in a delayed start. This is true. So that's also an option. Now this is the evil. Now that's the thing. Now we're talking, right? I'm gonna have to make a whole ass separate project, dude. Right? I'm gonna have to make a whole ass separate project. Gonna have a whole ass separate thing. And then all it's gonna have is a Harmony patch to do the most fucked up thing imaginable. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look into that maybe this weekend if I have time. On like getting a project like that set up. And then I'll do it next Monday. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. I'm thinking it'll be funny. Because the rest of this is just fucking config entry stuff, which is kind of boring as shit. Think slightly extra bludgeoning damage. And I guess you can take more radiant damage too, because you are technically evil by, you know, definition. Definition inherently makes you evil. Right, so then there's the skeleton, which has something that defines if they're a mage or not, or a not. Good shit. I can speak correctly. This doesn't actually set its name to being a mage. But I assume somewhere it has to load the skeleton mage. Oh, well, see, there's skeleton, skeleton warrior, and skeleton mage. What? And that's a spider. Okay. Right? Like there's different Skillingtons, dude. But I don't know why it's a thing. I assume maybe something sets it? Can I search for skeleton mage? No, I want constant. That's where it is. I need... Can I search for it like this? No, see, that's... that... I don't know how to use this search function correctly. Dang it. So I don't know when it loads the skeleton mage info, because clearly the skeleton mage info is slightly different from the regular skeleton, and is also different from the skeleton warrior. Wait. Let's get concerned Ape on the helpline. Yeah. So the skeleton warrior has base health of 300, the skeleton has a base health of 140, and the skeleton mage has a base health of 60, which is... incorrect. The skeleton has a base health of 140, which is that skeleton, but the skeleton warrior... you have even more health. 2025, you're 16 to 18. What the heck? Okay, there is some stuff that's not fully here. Interesting. Interesting. I'll definitely need to do a lot of debugging and stuff, and that's gonna be a pain in the ass. All right, so here's the thing. I have like some things here. I need to learn more about how this works. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap it here because a lot of this is just inputting some stuff. And I need a break from that because I have to do it for all these monsters, including the ones that like are just variants of stuff in the code but are like really different. Like the way Stardew like stores its monster information is not consistent, which is really annoying. So after I've after I'm done all that, hopefully the weapon information should be pretty easy. But we'll see. Tech is very much a passion project kind of thing, guys. It makes sense that organization is a little vibe based. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But we'll see. I mean, I'll slog through it to get the monsters correct and stuff and list them all by name, but the thing is it's not just as easy as just like get the monster name associated with a stat block because it's different. It depends on a lot of different things. Like, for example, what other monsters are there? Like a green slime, frost jelly, and sludge. Like those are different things. And I had to figure out which one was which, and then realize that there was a prismatic slime and then a tiger slime, and they're all different, but they're all still slimes. So like the wiki is helpful, but not super helpful. Right? So I don't really I don't really know, dude. But we will see. Hopefully this is pretty easy. And hopefully mods that add other monsters do it in a at least somewhat reasonable way to the point where someone wanting to add resistances for like modded monsters won't have to have a fucking migraine over it. Like that's the idea. So yeah, I'm kind of ending a little. It is occurring to me because I checked mods. Right, it is. It is gonna be a little different. So we got. I don't think I've seen many modded monster stuff. There's not many, right? But there's a couple. I think from what I look when I looked at red iridium bats as like a mod, I saw one that added like different bat variations or something. So I mean that might be a thing. I might have to change the way this works. I don't know. But what I can say is we are making progress. Soon we should be able to actually try and load the game with this and check to see that it's actually like loaded the config correctly and all that stuff. And then it's just the calculations, and then we're done, right? Like there's not that many different things to do. It's just some of these things might take a while to do, which you know, that's a whole thing. So that'll be it for me. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with uh Minecraft modding stuff. Wasn't able to do Stardew today because I don't know, basically. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with more Minecraft modding stuff. All right, take care, everyone, and have a good day. And I'll check you later. Peace out.